In 2019, I made a video talking about the money and business side of the LiveOverflow YouTube channel. Now it's almost 4 years later and I think we are overdue for an update because I also have some changes to announce. So this video is for everybody who is interested in the economics and business side of running my YouTube channel, but this is also dedicated to all the supporters from Patreon and YouTube memberships, because I think you might feel the most negative about these changes. So I owe you a more detailed explanation, and I hope you can understand why I do what I do. And to rip off the band-aid right away, the big announcement is that I'm going to sell out. Because me together with Thomas, or Stack Smashing, who is running another excellent YouTube channel and somebody I've known for like 10 years, we started a company and we want to offer paid online courses over at hextree.io. There it is, I finally said it out loud. Of course, this somewhat goes against the spirit of LiveOverflow with the free videos and all the supporters who gave a lot of money to me over the years because of this free access. So it's very important to me to share my thoughts so you can understand my decisions. Hopefully you would have done the same, and I hope you are not mad at me for doing this. So let's first go over the finances of LiveOverflow, how I think about the stuff, and at the end I explain a bit more what Hextree is about. I would really appreciate it if you listen to what I have to share before writing some angry comments, but I do understand if some of you will feel disappointed. Anyway, let's head into the juicy financials. Right away, let me show you the BWA, the business assessment from last year, the year 2022. If you studied business, you probably know how to read this. I don't really know how, to be honest. Some of these listings there, I have no clue what it means, but let's just start. Apparently, I had a total revenue of 46,000 euros. That's roughly 3,800 euros per month of revenue. And that part I can explain. Here are my monthly YouTube analytics for the year 2022. The green line is the revenue from YouTube members and ads combined. The line is pretty flat, which means it's roughly 1,400, 1,500 euros from YouTube every month. On top of that comes Patreon. Here's the analytics of the past 12 months. So this also includes some stuff from January and February 2023, where I didn't really release any videos, so ignore that. But you can see that in 2022, the revenue from Patreon is also pretty constant, roughly another 1,400, 1,500 euros. Together, this makes roughly 3,000 euros per month. But then there was also this crazy outlier in November last year, a little bit of Twitch income, and recently 12 sales from the LiveOver fund. So that's how we get to the average of roughly 3,000 euros per month in 2022. But there's more. I don't know why this is listed here as a negative accounts receivable. I probably should ask my accountant or study business, but what I think it is, it's the sponsored videos. It must be, because it increased the overall revenue. So this includes, for example, the Intel sponsored video. So all those sources together, YouTube ads, YouTube membership, Patreon, and sponsored videos, and lately the LiveOver fund, that generated a total revenue of 63,000 euros in 2022. Holy shit, that is a lot, but it's also just revenue. Let's come to the costs. I don't know exactly in which bucket certain expenses go, but I guess one item is clear: 15,000 euros in taxes. Then I have equipment related deductibles like editing computer, camera, lenses, studio lights, and so forth. And then I had some other expenses, for example, paying somebody to write articles on liveoverflow.com. And then there's lots of other small stuff that just accumulates. Subscription for Adobe Editing Suite, subscription for editing plugins, hosting costs like the Minecraft server, Google Workspace subscription, domains, Chamber of Commerce mandatory fee of 200 euros. The list goes on and just accumulates. But the biggest cost, and that wasn't clear to me when I decided to start a business, it's the accounting cost. When you have a proper business, you need to do monthly or quarterly reports. At the end of the year, you also need to do an annual accounts. And an accountant is not that cheap, especially as soon as problems arise where they need to communicate with the tax authority and explain stuff. All that time, it costs money. So for example, the total bill for the annual accounting, which included the balance sheet stuff, VAT returns, business tax reports, etc., that was over 3,000 euros. And that's just the one time a year thing. That doesn't cover the general monthly ongoing accounting. Now, maybe your eyes already wandered down to the overall results, which states that I lost 3,800 euros in 2022. When I saw that, I also panicked. What the F? I worked for a year and I lost money? I checked and it's not that bad. This can be explained by two big things. First, I had a project with Google where I collaborated with other YouTubers making videos for the Google Bug Hunter University site. Google gave me money for that in 2021, I believe, and then I paid the YouTubers for their work. So there was extra income in 2021, which is not included in here, but now you see part of the expenses. And I paid them well and fairly, I think. So that's a big chunk, easily over 10,000 euros. And then there is this other amount here, the other charges, which is apparently 24,000 euros. This also confused me at first, but I asked, and this seems to be the advance payment on taxes for 2023. I know this is not a proper balance sheet. Some of the expenses and revenues cannot be completely attributed to just 2022, but we can still get a rough idea. To summarize, I had a revenue of roughly 60,000 euros and I had expenses and taxes of roughly 40,000 euros, which leaves me with 20,000 euros of profit. If you remove some of the cost for that Google YouTube project where I paid other people, maybe I'm at 30,000 euro profit. But if you remove income from sponsored videos, if I hadn't done those, I'm also back down to roughly 20,000 euros. So that's the ballpark. But keep in mind, that's just profit for the business. If I would want to pay myself a salary or do a profit distribution to myself, I have to pay income tax or capital gains tax on top of that. You can calculate with another 25%. So if I would take this money out, I would actually make roughly 15,000 euros. So from 46,000 euro YouTube revenue and Patreon income, after all the expenses and taxes, I leave with roughly 15,000 euros, which averages to around 1,200 euros per month net income. But this is not comparable to a regular employment salary net income because being self-employed, I still have to pay for health insurance and retirement insurance. So this is more comparable to a regular salary of maybe 600 euros, 400 euro job. So that does not even cover my rent in Berlin. I could not live off YouTube as it is right now. And this is something I need to seriously think about for my future. And this also puts me in this super awkward position. Here is a list of my top lifetime Patreon supporters. Nick Losby and Gunnewell gave me over several years over $2,000. Rubik over $1,000. And then Jimmy, Tobias Faller, Gar, Garrett, Der Dirk, Lukas, Ziv Glosman, Eddie Cohen, Ipsec, Pixelblur, Zach Hansen, Mohiazi. The list goes on. And all of those people have given me several hundreds of dollars. And you know how bad it feels to realize that these big contributions is not enough? It sounds super shitty and ungrateful to say. I'm sorry. But I hope you understand that this is just me speaking as the CEO of Security Flag and looking at the objective financial facts. Also, this is not meant to guilt you into becoming a YouTube member or Patreon. I think the financial details from before showed you that there needs to be fundamental systemic changes of how I deal with this. The solution, I think, is not to beg for more supporters, especially because I don't feel comfortable to do that. I need a different strategy. And that leads me to the next part. I don't want to be an influencer. LiveOverflow is a pretty big channel. Since my last update video 4 years ago, I grew from 300,000 subscribers to almost 800,000 subscribers. But my average views have been pretty constant. Here is a chart of my views and subscriber gains over the past 4 years. So even though subscribers go up, views stay the same or actually go down. Minecraft. This is totally fine for me because this is more or less a very technical and niche channel. I understand that many people subscribe and don't watch every video. The video topics are all over the place as well. There's no consistent format. Some of the videos are very advanced, some are for beginners. Lately it was Minecraft. But still, what do I do now? And the question is not only what I could do, but also what I want to do. I think fundamentally there are 3 options. change something about the content production and the general operation. 2, more sponsorships. And 3, maybe just accept LiveOverflow doesn't make much money. Let's go over these 3 options one at a time. First, change to the video production and operation. What could I change? Well, it's easy to say make videos about more popular topics because I don't know what popular topics are, and it's not fun for me to always chase the next hot thing. For example, LTT just got hacked the other day. As a hacking channel, I should immediately make a video about that, like John Hammond did. Look at the views. Compare this to my technical video about security research. Of course, this will do better. Before anybody thinks I'm throwing shade at John Hammond in this video, I have to say I really respect John. Out of all of the hacking YouTubers, I think he is the one who really deserves success. For example, I've recommended him to Google to tag along with me for the Google CTF. I really like John, and I think it's really cool that he seems to have found a way that works for him to make the financial side work. So when I reference John in this video, I don't mean it to be negative. I think he's just a great example of what is possible. So keep that in mind, John is great. Anyway, besides going for more popular topics, there are other things I could do as well. For example, I could also share my videos more. John Hammond, for example, shares his stuff on LinkedIn. Why don't I do that? I could also revive my dormant Facebook page, and I don't even share my videos on my own Reddit. Why don't I do all of that? Another option to maybe grow the viewers is I could change the style of my videos, be more relatable. Maybe that helps. I mean, I started to show my face roughly 4 years ago. You know, try to be a cool, typical YouTuber. I tried live streaming a bit, upload stream highlights on a second channel. I made some vlogs. I want to do more Instagram. Just recently I tried TikTok. I mean, sometimes it's fun experimenting with new stuff. That's definitely fun for me and I like doing that, otherwise it really gets boring to make YouTube videos. And everything that I just mentioned I also have tried, sometimes more, sometimes less over the years. But you can also see I didn't really stick with any of those things, except I guess the face. And posting videos on different platforms, chasing popular topics, changing my video style, it's honestly not that much fun over time and it doesn't feel authentic to me. So I'm not sure if I want to make changes like this, and I'm not sure if that would even do anything. So next, what about sponsorships? I mentioned part of the income here is from doing sponsored videos like the Intel video or the Google Bug Hunter University project. And yeah, that money helps a lot. And by doing more of them, I could fairly easily get twice, maybe 4 times more revenue. And in principle, I like to do them because these are not basic sponsored videos. The companies help me cover really cool topics I couldn't cover otherwise. I hope you also like those videos a lot, but they are a lot of work and they create a large amount of back-end work. I have to write an offer, I have to attend meetings, share draft scripts, gather feedback, create an invoice and deal with annoying corporate accounting. I hate that part. But the resulting videos are great. It's definitely something I can generally see myself doing more often. But also, it doesn't have to always be those in-depth sponsored videos. I could also do more basic sponsorship integrations and affiliates. You know, a VPN ad or a password manager. I tried that a bit with Amazon affiliate links, which made me like $5 a month, so I stopped doing that. I also tried a Linode integration once, which ruined 3 videos with an ad and made me like $6 in affiliate revenue. And always keep in mind that for any income you have to do accounting, and accounting cost and accounting time is much higher than what I earned from that. So it's not an additional $5 a month. It made me negative $100 or so. But there's also another option. Over the past 2 years, there were also more cybersecurity companies that wanted to advertise on YouTube. I get emails and inquiries about that, and John Hammond is doing that a lot. Again, this is not a criticism, he definitely should do that. Hell, I should do that. I'm an idiot for not doing that. But it's just not the kind of job I want. Advertising some products and services, I could probably get used to it, but right now for me, it's just not me. I don't feel comfortable doing that. So now we explored the 2 options. How could I make LiveOverflow maybe more profitable? I do believe if I would go full-time all in on YouTube influencer style and I focus on getting ads and sponsor integrations like John is doing, I think this could be my job. I think I could earn pretty well. But the big question for me always is, do I want to do that stuff? Is this the kind of work I really would like to do? If I had no other option, if I needed to earn money somehow, maybe yeah, I would try to do that stuff. In the end, it's just a job, and in a job you sometimes have to do stuff you don't like. I should stop complaining. But the problem is, I have an alternative that is just better than YouTube. Maybe while watching all of this, you have been wondering, wait, if you don't earn much money from LiveOverflow, how do you even pay your rent? Well, for the past 8 years, I have been working as a freelance penetration tester as part of the Cure53 team. And this work is awesome. And it's actually my main income. This pays the bills. At this job, I do code reviews, pen testing, AppSec, that kind of stuff, all from home whenever I want. I have almost no interaction with clients or other backend stuff. I can just focus on hacking, learning new technologies, digging into code bases, and trying to find cool vulnerabilities. I work with super smart colleagues. I can listen to music and can watch shows while working. Theoretically, I could work from everywhere in the world, but I hate going outside and traveling. If I lose concentration, I can play a bit of Minecraft, or if I'm super motivated, I can work deep into the night. It's an absolute dream job. And this job pays so well that with 1 or maybe 2 days of that work, I make more than what I earn from YouTube in a month. And I hope this puts everything into perspective. Making LiveOverflow videos takes a lot of time. Check out my making of videos if you want to see how I make them. So in order to make these videos, I work roughly 50% pen testing and 50% on YouTube videos. But I get 99% of the money from here and 1% from here. So this is the situation I'm in. Of course, I like making videos. LiveOverflow is fulfilling to me and it opened interesting doors for me. But I hope now you understand why I don't really chase the sponsorship and ad stuff. Because for me, it's just trading time between these two worlds. I have this limited amount of time in my life, and this is a lot of money at Cure53. Remember, an absolute dream job. But I decided years ago that I want to cut this time down to make YouTube videos. In part, of course, because I want to, it's fun. But fun projects have limits. I'm now in my early 30s. I'm a freelancer and need to take care of my own retirement. While I can live well with the money I make right now at this 50% capacity, I don't feel comfortable about my long-term future. We are in an industry where you can make a lot of money. And I'm just honest with you, why should I trade a comfortable, financial, secure future by doing an awesome job with being YouTube famous? Also, I'm already well known. After making 400 videos over 8 years, how much more benefit do I get really from making more videos going forward? So I feel like I'm at a crossroads and I see two major choices. First, I already talked about it. I could go full influencer style. I could ask for more Patreons and YouTube members, maybe some exclusive content, sell merch like the LiveOverflow, and most importantly, I could ramp up ads and sponsorship. But to do that, I would have to cut more time away from Cure53 and allocate it over there. So I earn a lot less here to hopefully earn more here. And to me, that's just really dumb. Not only are the financials over there unsure, I trade cool hacking work with organizational sponsorship backend management stuff. That is horrible, and that's why I haven't done that, and I don't plan to do that. So I think this leaves me with one other choice, right? I could close the LiveOverflow business, disable ads and cancel Patreon. By doing that, I would win back a lot of time and I would have less stress because I don't need to worry about accounting and taxes and stuff. And this time I won back, I can work more at Cure53. By doing that, I could still make the same amount of videos for fun or less videos because I wouldn't feel stressed to keep up a schedule. This would also still allow me to keep up my online presence to be famous LiveOverflow. I could even pride myself with an ad-free channel. I follow the true spirit of hacking, providing completely free educational videos, and that I'm not such a sleazy, money-grubbing sellout like John Hammond. And the crazy thing is, all in all, I would earn more money thanks to my actual job and make sure my life is stable in the future, and I keep LiveOverflow going to benefit me in terms of industry connections and networking. So, what do you think should I do? Is closing the LiveOverflow business the only reasonable option? I have asked myself this question over the past few years many times. Why do I keep taking money from Patreons, which just flows into covering the base cost of running a business? I'm already pretty well known in the cybersecurity bubble. Why keep doing it? Well, part of the reason why I haven't stopped yet is I just ignore the facts. And I just hope that magically the situation changes. If the YouTube algorithm just blesses me with 2 times or maybe 4 times more views, the financial situation would look very different. And of course, I'm not just losing money. Thanks to all the supporters on Patreon and YouTube memberships, I'm not going bankrupt. I was able to keep the ship afloat, so it wasn't urgent to deal with it. And so I had time to think. And time to wait. Maybe I will slowly grow more on Patreon, or I discover a cool video format that works very well. I was just giving it a chance. But also, in the back of my mind, there was one more thing I wanted to try. One last attempt to make this really worthwhile. And now we come to Hextree. So what is going on? Very early on YouTube, I got requests regarding making ads for paid courses on my channel. Also Udemy with ethical hacking courses were running regular YouTube ads that played before my videos. And this always pissed me off, because in my mind, I'm working hard and consistently for years trying to make the best educational hacking content for free, and I make very little money from this, and now you want to sell your courses via my videos? F no. On top of that, I read all these comments and tweets of people buying Udemy courses. They spend $10 to $20 for courses they maybe never watch. And I truly believe my videos are just better. When I ask these people why they spent this money, usually the answer is because of the structure and hand-holding in these courses. My YouTube videos definitely require more self-motivation. But still, why do they spend money on those when they can have better videos for free? And if they really want to spend money, why don't they support my videos on Patreon? I know that sounds arrogant, but that's how I felt. And so I thought, if people want to spend money on courses and they want more of this linear hand-holding structure, even if it's not how I think you should learn hacking, check out my secret step-by-step guide to learn hacking, maybe I should fill the demand. Maybe I should make these kind of courses as well. I believe my courses would still be better than the others, and I could maybe earn a lot of money and my financial worries would be resolved. So I had these thoughts for many years, but there were several problems. I mentioned this in the meritocracy video a while ago. Many content creators and other online personalities started to sell their own courses and books. And what I say next, this is completely jealousy speaking. I know these feelings and thoughts are wrong. I'm really just honest with you. I felt unfair that they are allowed to sell courses when I feel like I have more experience and skill and I'm not yet allowed to do that. This is, of course, complete bullshit. Of course they are allowed, and I'm allowed too. But I didn't allow myself to sell courses because I felt like my 3 or 5 years of professional experience is not yet enough to claim to be an expert to educate others. You know, wannabe hacker. And so this feeling about myself, I unfairly reflected onto others, which I understand is very wrong. I fully acknowledge that. I'm just telling you that that is what was going on in my mind for some years. And I can also tell you now that since then this has changed. I have been on YouTube for like 8 years. I have been into hacking for 10 years. So it took a while, but roughly 3 to 4 years ago, I started to be more confident in my IT security skills. And I think now I'm okay to share my knowledge for money. And there was also another change in my mind. Maybe the YouTube numbers are telling me that I have a talent for educational video making. I love sharing my knowledge with others, especially in videos. So if I'm good at exactly this and I like to do it, then why not allow myself to be paid for it? Why not try to make this my job? Or part of my job, 50% of my time maybe. There are various options for educational jobs. Teach at university, do trainings at conferences, join another security training company as an employee. But I don't like in-person trainings. I refer to my panic attacks. And I'm better at making videos anyway. So maybe I should get paid for making videos? So in the middle part of this video, we already discussed various ways how I tried to make LiveOverflow more profitable, but they were options I didn't really like. Being an influencer, ads and sponsorships for third parties, that stuff just doesn't feel right for myself. But maybe I could become another kind of stereotypical online creator and sell my own courses. Yeah, but it's not that easy, because I do have some more weird feelings about this. So how could I, LiveOverflow, feel comfortable to sell courses? Well, many other creators use something like Udemy to sell courses. It makes sense because you can focus on making videos instead of handling payments, accounts, infrastructure, and so forth. Udemy handles it for you. But to be honest, I don't like Udemy. Udemy is 99% bullshit courses. I know there are also great ones, but it just feels super lame to me. It just feels cheap, no offense. And so I don't want my brand to be associated with that. Alternatively, you could also use something like Teachable. There you can just use your own domain and create an academy like the Cyber Mentor does. And that definitely doesn't have that bad of a reputation like Udemy, but it's still just a generic service. It still feels cheap for me, and it's a generic service. It's not made for hacking content. For example, I really would like to have integrated labs for people to practice. And looking around, you can see, for example, Portswigger Academy with their labs, or maybe Pentester Lab. Those sites are just 1,000 times better than any Udemy course. And so I'm looking more in the direction of that. I have no clue how I'm gonna compete with that. How can I, with basically no available time, compete with a big company who has money for crazy office buildings like this? I don't know. But if LiveOverflow starts to sell out for courses, this is the quality level I want. But is that realistic? Well, knowing my financial situation, knowing my available time, knowing what is realistic to achieve, of course I had to make some hard decisions, which is, I spent the last years on and off developing an online training platform from scratch, Hextree.io. Well, not all alone. Thomas Stack Smashing approached me years ago and we are creating Hextree together. So I'm not all alone, but it's still a lot of work. We are not even ready yet. So here's a quick sales pitch on what makes Hextree Hextree. Our target audience is people with some experience, so developers, computer science students, and other IT security professionals. We have the concept of micro courses, so each course is not a massive time commitment. It's organized in this hex map. These courses are associated with a continent, which organizes everything a bit. The reason for the map is that hexagons around one course are somewhat related. We do have a recommended order for these courses, but you also are free to explore the map by yourself and jump around the different topics and start working on a different hexagon. Maybe you see here the connection to my learning hacking step-by-step guide video, where I tell you that I like to jump between topics. So we want to provide more hand-holding courses, but also somehow incorporate what we believe is a good way to learn the stuff. No clue if people will like that, but we will see. In terms of money, we plan to have 2 levels of subscription, foundational and specialization. Foundational includes all the more foundational topics, for example, basic cross-site scripting, while specialization is more intended for professionals really digging into specific topics. It could be, for example, something like auditing Django apps or exploiting XSS in React. Of course, these courses can include labs that you can access to practice on what you learned, and of course there's also a bit of a capture the flag component to this. Thomas also does a lot of embedded firmware and hardware hacking. In case you don't know, my Ledger hardware wallet series is based on his research. So we don't only cover typical web hacking, but also plan to cover topics around hardware hacking and firmware reversing. Besides the paid courses, our YouTube videos, so Stack Smashings and my YouTube videos, are also put into its own YouTube map, which will be accessible for free. It's basically our complete YouTube backlog, and I try to somewhat put them into courses. And people can use it to track their progress watching through our videos. Hundreds of videos. And I still believe my LiveOverflow videos are the best hacking content anyway, so you don't need to pay for Hextree, but you can use this as an alternative to the shitty YouTube interface to browse our YouTube content and track your progress watching them. I hope people will find this to be very useful. And generally, I hope you like what we are working on here. But unfortunately, we don't have much content yet, so we still need some time before we give everybody access. I know you probably think years for that and you don't even have content. Yeah, well, you know, the famous Facebook motto of move fast and break things, the startup strategy with short time to MVP, minimal viable product, test it out, see if it fails, iterate until it's good. Yeah, we didn't do any of that. I spent my free time coding an online training platform and we don't even have any content yet. So all of this could be a big failure, but we also just reached a major milestone. The platform itself is kind of ready and we finally founded the company Hextree. We have put money into it, now the business is real and eventually this money runs out. So it gets serious now. So coming back to LiveOverflow. Besides Patreon and YouTube members who kept the boat afloat, who made sure I didn't bankrupt the business already, Hextree is the second reason why I haven't quit LiveOverflow. I was always thinking once Hextree launches, all this time invested will finally pay off. I will have viewership, I can reach an audience, and I can market Hextree to them. So I will give this whole thing roughly a year. After that, I have to see. If Hextree doesn't have a big success for us, I will probably close the LiveOverflow company and take all of this as a hobby going forward. But if Hextree succeeds and makes enough money that my and Thomas's retirement is going to be secure, then awesome. That would be really exciting for us. So here's what will happen over the next 6 to 12 months. Hextree is not quite ready for public launch. As I mentioned, there's not much content there yet. And given how busy we are with normal jobs and our YouTube channels, progress is slow. But I will start integrating Hextree ads into my YouTube videos. Start the marketing work already. Also, we can finally gather feedback and see how much interest there really is for this platform. We start working out Twitter and we have a Discord server. In case you worry what kind of impact this will have for LiveOverflow videos, I hope it won't change much, except of course the integrated ad for Hextree. It should be worth mentioning the video style between YouTube and Hextree courses is very different. Hextree is a lot more hand-holding and step-by-step. I'm not showing my face, it's more dry, I guess. But hopefully through our experience with YouTube as well as in-person trainings in the case of stack smashing, we hope our videos are better, more engaging, and we do have our own style of teaching compared to maybe the typical video courses. So I hope there's more of a positive effect between Hextree and LiveOverflow. I can also use what I learned for LiveOverflow and vice versa. Also, I think doing research live on stream could be fun. It's free content for you and results I can still use for making Hextree courses. I'm definitely very anxious to hear your concerns and hopes. Anyway, very soon we will finally give access for testing to close friends, and then following that I want to give Patreons and YouTube members access. And let me say this clearly, don't sign up to Patreon or YouTube membership now because you want to get access to Hextree. I might even check who was a supporter before this announcement, because I don't want to trick people into supporting LiveOverflow with this. I just want to give current supporters a heads up of what's going on, and I feel like I owe them something and I want to give something back. Of course, we can get feedback from them during this testing phase, but also they get basically exclusive video content to watch as a thank you for having supported LiveOverflow. I hope it's a win-win. And after that phase, we probably still don't have enough courses, but somehow we need to generate revenue or the ship will sink, aka bankruptcy. So we might launch a cheaper early access subscription to generate some revenue for some time. And once we feel comfortable with the amount of courses, we will then fully launch. So those steps are currently our rough plan going forward. We don't have any set dates for those things, and maybe those plans will change completely, but that's where we stand right now. And if you want to stay up to date with the Hextree development, follow us on Twitter, come into our Discord server and check out hextree.io. Alright, so to summarize everything and tell you about the future of LiveOverflow. In the end, I would love to make creating educational content part of my actual job, my paid job, so I can justify the time spent on all of this. But I also love pen testing, and I don't want to stop that either. So if 50% of my paid work could be from teaching, I would love that. And instead of doing the influencer stuff with ads and sponsorships to make YouTube really worth it, I would prefer to achieve that goal through my own courses, my own platform, advertising my own thing that I believe in. And that's Hextree. I also think ultimately this way I can keep LiveOverflow much closer to what it always was, and in the end maybe it doesn't even really change anything except the occasional Hextree shilling. All my knowledge is already covered in my 400 videos anyway. I made every video I always wanted to make. Hextree courses will probably not contain secret exclusive knowledge. I will just remake videos and cover topics I covered before, just in a different style, more a course style. So that's why I stand right now in early 2023. Please let me know what you think, and in case there are questions, please ask them below. Maybe I make a Q&A video soon addressing everything. So if you have anything you're curious or concerned about, be it YouTube analytics, my life or Hextree, please ask below in the comments and I will try to answer it soon. Alright, I know this was a long video, so thanks to everybody who stuck through until the end. I hope you can understand my decisions and you are not mad or disappointed by these changes. Maybe you are even excited about what comes next. Let's see. Again, thanks to all the Patreons and YouTube members over the years, and of course anybody rocking the LiveOver font. Thanks to the Twitch subs and super chats on YouTube. Thanks to you, I didn't feel the pressure to do more ads and more sponsorships. You allowed me to stay afloat and focus on just making the videos I want to make. And I hope you keep supporting this channel despite these upcoming changes. Alright, that's all I have. See you soon. Hopefully exploring a continent on Hextree.